Hello, I'm Robin and welcome to Molten Modular. Today I'm looking at the Knobula Kickain. What's a Kickain? Well, see if you can spot when it comes in. So did you spot it? Did you spot it? Did you spot when it came in? Yes, Kickain it's a kick drum, but it's more than a kick drum. It's a kick drum which sorts out your entire techno and dance music pretensions. It completely transforms your performance into a flipping kick-ass, thudding, mammoth epic of a showstopper. Yes, it does. So this video is my first impressions of this. I've had it like 5 minutes. I plugged it in and went, flipping Nora, and thought I better make a video about it quick because it's out and it's super booth and there's very little time, but I thought it was worth pointing this out just to give you a quick burst of why this has blown my mind. Why has it blown my mind? That is the question. So let me bring you in, see if I can explain it. So here we are, Kickain. It's a kick drum with a sidechain. What does that mean? Well, it's something I've been trying to work out for a little while now. I've been trying to massage the percussion side of my rig so that it's more prominent, so it cuts through. There's something about dance music, techno, whatever you want to call it, that just has this kick drum that cuts through all the time. And you build, and then you drop it in, and then just the crowd goes wild. That's the kind of thing that one finds oneself aiming for in this kind of performance rig. And I've been exploring it, and I've used different things like the Pico drums. I've been using the Lunaire Vega over here quite successfully to some degree. And then I got the Erica Synths bass drum, because I've just been trying to get that kick to drop in. And I've looked at it, and I've researched it a bit, and people keep talking about side chaining. I had a module from Cosmotronic, which is this, the Mesor, and that's given me the opportunity to play with that a little bit. The idea is simply that you want your kick drum to come through the mix, so that every time the kick drum fires, the rest of the music kind of falls away, and you get this pulsing effect. Now that's done by taking the same trigger that's triggering the kick drum, sticking it into the side chain of a compressor, and every time that hits, the compressor pulls everything else down so that the kick comes through. That's the idea. I'm not much of an audio engineer, so, you know, these things I'm still fiddling with myself. Now, the magical awesomeness of Kickain is that the sidechain and kick drum are both in the same unit. So I'm not having to fiddle around trying to trigger a sidechain on some other module in order to allow the mix to pulse its way through. It's all within the one module. It's got a kick drum, 909 based kick drum with various controls over punch and bend and attack and decay and click and all those sorts of things. So it's got a good developed kick drum, and then it has the sidechain. So you put the trigger into here, and the trigger is triggering the kick drum, as well as pulling away the rest depending on the level here. let me try to demonstrate that. So I've got a load of stuff going on. And at the moment the entire mix is going through here. So this is the output of my mixer down here, and this is going to my speakers. And when I turn on this trigger, which triggers the kick, you'll see what happens. So I've now got the kick drum going through, and it's on the lowest level of sidechain, but you can already hear that pretty well. As I turn this up, it starts to pulse and throb. Now what I'll do is just compare that with the Erica Synths kick drum down here, which is a great kick drum. I've had a lot of fun playing with this. Now this really sorted out my kick drum, at least I thought. Trying to find the sound in something like the Pico drums or in other bits of gear, I just couldn't find the meat that I wanted in a kick drum. This module absolutely seemed to sort that out. So if I route the trigger through that, bring this in, it's great. It's got a good healthy bit of drive, lots of variation. You know, it sounds nice. It's a good meaty kick drum. Bring everything else in. You know, and it's there. You can hear it. Take it out. Drop it back in. You know, it's there. It's definitely there. I can turn it up, of course. So it gets a little bit overwhelming. But then if I swap that back to the Kickain, you'll probably notice the difference. Now it's not that it's growlier or necessarily louder, it's not that it's sitting up loud, it's that it's cutting through, it's that it drops in and you can hear it when it's there. And you can make it loud, sure, but that's not really the point, at least for me. The fact that you can feel it, that it's cutting through, that it's there. It's present, it's in your face, but not overwhelming the mix. You've got other things going on too. that's kind of it, really. It's just a first impression. I mean, there's some spectral stuff going on. You've got CV control over things. There's some bass cut, and I've only got the kick drum level up a tiny bit. I mean, it's this idea that your entire mix goes through this, and then it just brings that kick in ways I can't explain as a simple person, but good Lord, what a thing. So Kickain from Knobula then. What a barrel load of fun. That's really amazing. I mean, I still can't confess to have grasped what it's all about. The whole sidechaining thing, I mean, I kind of get it now. I think I'm still wondering about, I'm running my whole mix through it. I mean, do I have more control over that? You know, that kick is therefore not in my mixer, so I'm having to come up with ways to, rather than mute the sound, mute the trigger. So I'm running the trigger through the Div Kids mutes up here, for instance, and that gives me that little bit more control because I can't mute the actual sound from here unless I run that through another thing, but then that'll mute the whole mix. I mean, it's kind of wrapping my head around this idea that everything has to go through that sidechain compressor thingy-me-bob, and that's kind of interesting. My overall level control is gone because I can control the level of my mix that goes to the Kickain, but I don't have any output level as far as I can see. So then what do I do about that? Do I just trust that it's going to be the right level? Because it seems a little bit hot, I have to say. I've only got the kick drum level down at like 2 at the moment. But these are things I'm going to have to explore because this is only my first impression. I've had it for like 5 minutes and all I've done is dropped it in and had a flipping well of a time all by myself. Which is sometimes the best times to have. So I don't know anything else about it. I don't know about its availability. I think it's more or less available now. What the price is? No, I've no clue. Looks fantastic though. Sounds heroic, awesome and epic. I totally love it. So thanks very much for sending it to me, Knobula. That's much appreciated. And in the meantime, go and make some tunes. I could play with it all day. All day.